Hi, my name's Barry Crampton. Today I'm going to show you around our Range Rover Sport, then I'll take you for riding it, but first I'll tell you a little bit more about it. This is a 3 litre SD V6 HSE, 2015 on a 65 plate, one owner, absolutely beautiful condition throughout. It's done 39,912 miles, fuel economy, urban 35.8 miles per gallon, extra urban 44.1 miles per gallon, and combined is 40.4 miles per gallon. Has a 0 to 60 time of 6.8 seconds, a top speed of 130 miles per hour out of a 306 brake horsepower 24 valve 6-cylinder engine. Absolutely beautiful car, finished in celestial blue metallic with ivory leather upholstery. Best car on the road for me. I just love driving them. By choice, I don't think I'd have anything else. We just got this one in, it's been throwing it down for the last 3 days, so I've not been able to photograph it, but here it is now anyway. So we've got high pressure headlamp wash, the silver Range Rover grille here with Land Rover, and the big get out of the way, there's a Range Rover behind your badge there. Front fogs, nice sharp attack angle so you can get up steep hills or park where nobody else can, and wade through 27 inches, no 35 inches of water I think it is, which is, must be, I think it's to about the headlamps, so if you're in deeper water than that you need a boat, but this will get you anywhere. It's got diamond cut and dark silver metallic alloy wheels, and they're 21-inch wheels as well. Scorpion Verdes all round, and they're like brand new. We've got the Range Rover air vent in the bonnet, the air vents on the side there, side steps, the protective moulding on the bottom of the door, power folding door mirrors. It's got keyless entry, keyless go, and if we just, when you get out of the car, if you just touch your thumb to the door handle, car will lock and the door mirrors fold in. Come back to the car, fingers behind the door lock, and that's it, it opens again, so long as you've got the key on. Rear privacy glass, the full glass panoramic roof, which changes the interior of the car so much better with the panoramic roof. Integrated rear tailgate spoiler. Here, can also open it from the key, but it's power open, power close tailgate. The rear load cover, the roller blind. This has got a big heavy duty floor mat in the back as well, so you can open or close with a key. Reversing camera there, reversing sensors, and we've got this hideous tow bar which I keep forgetting to take off, but it is removable, you'll be pleased to know. So I'll just show you inside. I'm going to be quick here because it's throwing it down. We've got the rear centre armrest, the rear Isofix child seat anchor point, beautiful inside, perforated leather, also got blue, or it might be blue or black piping, I can't tell. Full set of carpet mats, and it's got a full set of rubber over mats as well, which I always like to see, and we've got heated rear seats here. As I say, the full panoramic roof makes the interior of the car so lovely to be in. It's such a nice environment. Okay, I'll just take you for a drive in it. Wow, what a horrible day, but I tell you what, there's no better car to be in than a Range Rover Sport on a day like today. So there we go, that's the Range Rover key, foot on the brake. Start the car. I'm just going to need to pull this rubber mat back a bit. As I mentioned before, it's got 2 lots of mats in it. It's got the carpet mats and the heavy duty rubber over mats. The carpet mats of course fasten to the floor, but the rubber over mats, there's nowhere to fasten because the carpet mats are there, so that just slid forward a little bit. Absolutely fantastic car. First thing we'll do, we'll get the heated steering wheel on. That's the heated seats, but also, if you you just have a look at this. You can also, on this particular car, it's got heated and cooled seats. So there you go. In the summer, it just blows cool air through the perforations in the seats, which is well, it's really good on leather seats, to be fair. Almost essential, I would say. So I keep saying it's a lovely car, but honestly, we went to pick this up, and it was sat on the car park, a big firm, and there must have been 100 cars on the car park, all different types of cars, and you could see the Range Rover. They're just beautiful cars. I was talking to a delivery driver yesterday, and in fact I was running him back home after he dropped another car off for us, and he, without prompting, he said, you know, these Range Rovers are my favourite car to pick up. He says, I picked one of those big ugly Bentleys up the other day. Now, of course, he meant the Bentayga. I didn't need him to tell me which model it was, but you know, they're kind of hideous. This is a beautiful car, and although I've not driven a Bentayga, and Bentleys do drive fantastic, I can't imagine it drives much better than this, and it'll be probably 3-4 times more expensive, probably more than that. Anyway, service history. So we've got, that was the PDI at 4 miles, Hatfields Land Rover, 2nd of 11/2016 at 8,974 miles, Hatfields Land Rover. 21st of 11/2017 at 18,019 miles, Hatfields Land Rover. 3rd of the 1st 2019 at 24,986 miles, Hatfields Land Rover. 21st of 6th 2019 at 27,227 miles, Hatfields Land Rover. 9th of the 3rd 2021, 36,004 miles, Ian Barclay Motor Repairs Limited. So good service history there. Doesn't look like there's much chance of any drone shots today. It is a bit wild, definitely. So great things in the car. We've got, let's just see, height and reach adjustable steering wheel. I've not, well actually I have changed position 1 to my seat, but we'll just do the old electric memory seat Russian roulette, and I promise you I haven't messed about with these at all. Goodness me. Right, so somebody has been driving this car, bearing in mind it's 2+ tons. It's a big car. People always say to me, you know, it's a big car, I'm not sure whether I'll be able to drive it. Right, well, you can, trust me. They're the easiest car in the world to drive. They float along. Let's just try number 3. Right, so number 3 is not that far anyway. We'll get back. The mirrors change. Steering wheel changes. There we go, back to some semblance of comfort. I'm absolutely wet through. The heated seat is so good, I'm going to have to turn it down. There we go, we'll turn that down. And of course the usual, well, let's get going. No, I won't get going, because the usual thing people say, oh, Range Rover is bad for the planet, this, that and the other, ecological disaster and all that lot. But I've just got 2 new GoPros. They only come out this week, and already there's issues with them overheating. Now these are electric, and they get so hot that you can't, you know, you can't keep hold of them. They get that hot if there's no air blowing over them. This is a 3-litre diesel engine. That's an electric watch, or a battery powered watch, Apple Watch. It's my second one. Now you'll see there, it's blown the face off. That's the battery in there, and the battery has swelled up so much that it's just blown the face off. So that's my second one. That's a battery out of one of the other GoPros that's now broken because the battery has swelled up so much that it crushed the internals in the GoPro. And that's, I must have had 10 of these batteries in just over a year. So you can imagine the size of that, it's like just the size of my thumb. An electric car, the whole floor, the whole like cassette underneath the car is full of batteries. No doubt they're all doing that. So I think, I've no scientific proof for this, by the way, and only time will tell, but I'm usually right about most things in the motor trade. And I think electric cars will be a disaster. I really do. I think years down the line, there'll just be, you know, there'll just be batteries all over the place that we can't dispose of. And actually, you won't be able to see here, but out there, it's wind farms. There's just turbines and windmills as far as the eye can see. And of course, I read the other day that they created 2% of our electricity last month, but there's already a massive problem that they can't get rid of the arms, and they're burying them. It's diesel engines. You can, you know, even when they get to 200,000 miles, 250,000, you can rebore them, put new pistons in, and it keeps going. Batteries, they blow up. In America, the Chevrolet Bolt, I think they've recalled, it's either 140,000 or 170,000 of them. I think it's 170,000. The Chevrolet dealers won't sell them because they keep setting on fire. They've got to be recalled and have, every one of them has got to have a new battery fitted. Now, when was the last time new engines had to be fitted? From my memory, it was BMW, and it was that, crikey, that lining that used to dissolve with petrol. I've forgotten the name of it, but you know, that was
400 yards, turn right.
That was the last time. Imagine all the internal combustion engines that have been produced. How many have had to be recalled for the power unit to be completely replaced? And then, of course,
200 yards, turn right.
They've got the problem of disposing of those batteries. And as I say, the report I read said that the batteries have a tendency to explode if dismantled incorrectly. They're advising them to only charge to 80%, not let it run down lower than 20%. And when you've charged it, park it 50 feet at least, or is it 50 yards away from your home in case it catches fire. Jeez. And these electric things, when they go up, you've no real warning. At least with a petrol or diesel, if there's a fuel leak, you can usually smell it. But no electric cars. So I'm not a big fan of electric cars, as you can tell. I'm a big fan of Range Rovers. They are beautiful. They are so easy to drive. It's, to me now, I just don't like anything else. For the past couple of weeks, I've used an Audi SQ5, used a Porsche Panamera, and then I came out of the Porsche Panamera to use a Land Rover Discovery because I like the way they drive. I like being higher up above off the ground. On the way up here, it was lashing down. There was people driving lower cars, and they were kind of looking through the windscreen, trying to see what into the distance because the spray was just covering the cars. I was fine. In fact, it was probably my spray that was covering them, but there you go. Now, I've, over the past few years, I must have had at least 50, I must have driven at least 50 different ones. And honestly, I can't, on my day off, I want to go for a drive in them. It's unheard of. I drive cars all week and I do this all week. And on my day off, I want to go for a ride out in it. They're just, they've got everything you want. They're really, really simple. No, at the moment, obviously the later ones, I know somebody emailed me on YouTube to say that I'd scream if I got in a new one. But these, just, there's enough controls that you need. Nothing really to take your eyes off the road that you need to. Everything you know where everything is. Everything's got a click like that. Not too keen on this bit where you have to change the heated. Well, you don't have to change the heated seats, but that's an option. You can just click that and move that up and down, which is what I'd opt for all the time. The heated steering wheel, it's horrible today. It's been quite warm for the last couple of months. It's only 7 degrees at the moment, which is quite warm for the UK actually, but coming out of a hot spell, it does feel cold. It's just, you know, I mean, it's like hot soup when you're freezing cold. Jumping in one of these. When I used to go fishing, night fishing, and you were absolutely freezing, you got a flask and got some hot soup. It's the same feeling when you're getting a Range Rover drinking hot soup when you're freezing cold. Look at it. It just floats along, and this road, country road, it's quite bumpy. It's uneven. If you can see down there, I'm going to have to turn the heater down. You know, there's plenty of bumps, there's plenty of potholes. This is pretty quiet, and you just rock along. You don't bump, bounce, you just perhaps sway. Squirrel, get off the road. That's it, you go there. When cars are clean and not being hammered, bearing in mind this is 5-6 years old, and you jump in it, and the first thing that makes it feel like a new car is the windscreen. After a while, after a couple of years on the windscreen, always gets just a bit worn, and it doesn't have that kind of sheen on it. This, as I say, you jump in and the screen's like brand new. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me it'd just been kept in a garage, but obviously with 39,000 miles on it, it's been out and about, but it's just been well looked after. There's no stone chips I can see, there's no damage anywhere. Left hand side here, got volume control, track change. We'll just get around this corner. Click menu there. It brings up the information display in the center. Driving features, click driving features, show warnings, gearbox paddles. We'll just go back. Trip computer, not interested in, instrument display. Then vehicle setup. If we go into vehicle setup, you'll see there are alarm sensors, reverse dip mirror, auto access height. Now there's a tick there, you don't have to have it, but when you switch the car off, you pull up at your destination, switch the car off, and it lowers itself down to the ground. And to be fair, it looks really, when it's on its when it hunkers down, it looks really mean. You get back in the car, you set off, and it goes back to normal height, normal suspension. Paddles here on the steering, you feel it go down there, command shift. If I had one criticism of Range Rovers, and one thing that I'd go back to the round gear selector. This one, for some reason, I have trouble with it, and well, I'll show you. When you stop to select another gear, you just pull up here. When you stop to select another gear, if you just want park, you click park and it goes into park. If you just pull back like so, it won't do anything, or push forward. It says unlock before shifting. There's a little trigger here. Now, it's not a difficult thing, but I always manage to get it wrong. So you've got to press the trigger and then move it forward into reverse. You see there the mirrors dipping. You've got reversing camera here. And then to go into drive, again, somehow I always forget to click this trigger. And it's harder not to click it than it is to click it, because you know, if you just pull back on it, say there, if you just pull back on it, let this guy go past, it goes into drive automatically. You've got your terrain response there. Minefield, or is it Minefield, Christmas, Mexico, Swamp, something like that. I always forget. God. You've got CD radio here. It's Bluetooth hands-free, Bluetooth audio streaming. The sound system is tremendous. So before, you've got power folding door mirrors. Sat nav, we'll click sat nav. That's a massive bump there. It's just, actually, I've got, put them on auto. Now menu route voice guidance, we'll knock that off. Return to map, destination entry, more, stored locations, route options, nav setup, click nav setup, and you've got day and night there. Just going to stick that on night so you'll be able to see it better, and then we'll go back there. So there you go. Front central armrest, big front central armrest. In there you've got USB and aux in and a power, and then you've got your drivers and passengers armrest, which you can set with this thumb wheel here. Electric memory seats, as we said before, and let me just see, that's lumbar support. You may be able to hear it going down. But nice and just lovely and comfortable. A high pressure headlamp wash. Got the side skirts, the remote boot opening or power open, power close. And I've chosen to come out and use all my precious fuel today. Got a fuel crisis in the UK. When we were going to deliver a van the other day, and I was low on fuel, but the van was on empty. It was, you know, a couple of miles to go before it ran out. And we passed a load of fuel stations, and there was, well, they didn't have any fuel. Eventually we were in Bolton, and there was the Asda there, and they'd got fuel, but there was a queue. So we joined the queue, but unfortunately there was 2 entries into the queue. We were already in the queue, and there was another queue here, but the guy queuing there was blocking everybody coming out of Asda. So I let him in front of me, and old guy, looked like a nice old chap, and anyway, he gets in front of me and gets out of the car, and I could see him looking and chunnering to himself, and then he gets back in the car, slams his door, moves up a bit, gets out again, looking and all over the place. And anyway, we get to the fuel pumps. He gets to the fuel pump in front of me, and he just drives through without getting any fuel, and went to the tyre inflator. So he queued up through the petrol queue, which took a good probably 20 minutes to use the tyre inflator. So he probably emptied his tank while he was queuing. So I'm sure it's 35 inches wading depth, and you know, you can just go up a very steep angle and depart from a very steep angle without bottoming out. Many years ago we had a big ramp at the back of the garage, and overnight some thieves came, and the caravan place next door had a big barred gate across, and it was also on the main road and difficult to see, but the entrance to our compound had a gate which you couldn't see from the road. And these thieves were, they must have spent hours and hours cutting through our gate, because they did it with a hacksaw, and there was a load of broken hacksaw blades that they'd just abandoned. So it'd taken them a good few hours, I would imagine, to saw through. And then there was a ramp into our compound, and then they'd cut through the fence into the caravans next door, and they'd lined up about a dozen caravans. Now, I've no idea who would want to steal a load of caravans like that, and far be it from me to be one to indulge in hate speech. But anyway, these people that like caravans, they just got, must have been a massive convoy. They were going to lift the whole lot, and they didn't. And at first I thought they'd been disturbed, but then I realised that the ramp getting out of the compound, their car had bottomed out. With a caravan on, it caught the ramp and bottomed out. Now, if those people had been in a Range Rover, they could have just clicked this switch, risen up and nicked all the caravans, but there you go. They're fantastic. They are fantastic. The only reason you would buy a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz four-wheel drive over this is because you like the look, because they don't drive anywhere near. They're not a patch on Range Rovers. don't let people tell you that they're unreliable or they break down all the time, because they don't break down any more than Mercedes-Benz and BMW. In fact, we have more trouble with BMWs than we do with Range Rovers. And even so, here we go, 2 Range Rovers. Everybody out here, they know what they like. Our Land Rover Discovery. There seems to be a... This looks like a good time to have a drink of coffee. Wow. Dog sat on his knee there. Oh, that's unusual, that guy in that Discovery. No, you're all right. Everybody else waved and said thanks, but the Discovery chap, nah. And with a bit of luck, that's all the traffic coming this way. But you never know. Instrument cluster there, left hand side, nice clear display, rev counter, tells you what gear you're in, coolant temperature, the information display in the center, as I say, you can bring that up, or the sat nav comes up when it's active, tells you your next turning. On the right hand side, speedo. It's also, that's an analog speedo on the outside. In the bottom there, you've got digital speedo. There you go. That camera, electric cars, that camera, what we've been going 20 minutes, it's overheated and switched off. New to the market last week, overheated and switched off, electric. I rest my case. Fuel gauge at the bottom there. They're economical for the size of the vehicle. I think running around town, just going to work, I get 30 plus, which I'm more than happy with, everything's a compromise. I was using a Mercedes E-Class, and I'm a big Mercedes man, or was a big Mercedes man, and they're just not a patch on this, not a patch. More economical, sure, but and that one had air suspension, but the ride, an E350, the ride, nothing compared to this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, if my cameras don't all overheat.